I think it's great to be back, Neetu. I think great to be back together after a long time. I think the last video that we covered was about last two videos we spoke about marketing,
Yes.
importance of marketing for business growth, right? And there are various elements of marketing that we covered in those two videos. But one key element which we talk about always is about marketing decisions are usually driven by data, is driven by data analytics in terms of what's working, what's not working, why it's not working, what is competition doing, etc. So we realize that data itself is such a huge important point and influencer as far as business growth is concerned. So we thought we'll focus today's discussion on data. Although data covers all the functions in an organization, today's video we're going to be talking about sales, right? The importance of sales driven by data and sales growth driven by data, right?
Got
So
that.
that's really the background for today's video. So Neetu, you'd like to share a couple of examples from your side?
Yes, thank you very much for that. So before we jump into that, I would like to say that there are three different stages of your data. One is the conscious collection of the data.
Yeah.
Second one is the analysis of the data, so to draw out insights for your organization. And the third stage is when you actually apply those insights in your business to improve your overall business growth and efficiency. Sorry. Okay. So now, specifically with sales data, again, there are different types of sales data. One, for example, is your billing data. Now, for a lot of organizations, they have a billing software, so the information is available, but it's maybe not be available for the entire team to go back and analyze and draw out insights from. So it is again, so there is revenue related data, but the breakdown of the billing data is missing. So that's unexplored in area for a lot of organizations to go back and look at your billing data and see what's the data telling you about your products, about your customers, about the purchase values, etc. The second one, which is actually even more important, is the customer data. The customer data here for me is the data about not about the what about which customer is buying what. There is customer database, yes, but what customer is buying, you have the billing data. Now, most of the customer data is actually missing in organizations unless they have a CRM in place. So with those organizations who don't have a CRM in place, the customer data is actually only in two places. One is in the inbox of the sales team, and two, it's in the mind box of the sales team. So
And if
that means,
the sales team leaves, the data goes. End of
yeah,
story.
I don't think anybody's go back and check their inbox or their mind box. Both, it's completely lost, right? And what do I mean by customer data? And it's where it's very valuable information that you'll not be able to regenerate easily. That is, we're talking about information about customers, who are the decision makers within the organization, who support your organization, which are the what percentage of the wallet share do you have with the customer vis-a-vis your competition? What products the competition is pricing? What are the preferences of the customer? You know, what are their buying cycles? What is their buying preferences, etc. There's a lot of information over there which the sales guys have, but it is not recorded. So that is a data which is not even collected. So that's why I want to say consciously collected, so that in a centralized manner. So we need to put in systems and processes in place to collect the data in a centralized manner. And then secondly, set aside time and experience resources to analyze that data and draw out insights, identify which are the trends which are emerging, what are the outliers which are there, and then use that information and share it back to the relevant team to start applying it in their business, right? So that's a big chunk, which I think the sales data, which is going to be helping you make decisions for your organization, which we need to focus upon consciously. CK, you had some specific examples, right? Why don't you share that?
Yeah, in fact, in our role as business coaches is really like we covered in the earlier videos. Our role as a business coach is to be the catalyst, right? To be the catalyst, sometimes you have to also be a disruptor, and you have to ask uncomfortable questions, right?
Correct.
So, I'll just give an example. For instance, there was this organization, small and medium business, which has been around for some time, and they were doing reasonably well. They were doing reasonably well, but obviously, after a few discussions, one could figure out that the market opportunity is huge, right? And because this company had been around for some time, they were getting a lot of inquiries. So the first question that we asked them was in terms of, so how many of your inquiries are actually getting converted into business? Initially, that data was not being tracked, not being analyzed. The next review, they came back saying that about 20% of our inquiries are getting converted. So one way to look at it is 20% is getting converted to business. Other way to look at it, 80% is getting lost, right?
Correct.
So my first logical question to them is, why only 20%? Why not 40%? Right? You've been around for quite some time. Your product is well known in the market. You have a good brand image in the market. You have a reputation. You're not really a startup at this point of time. So why only 1 out of 5 inquiries is getting converted? Where really is the issue? What's coming in the way? And they did not have the answers. They did not have the answers in the first slot, right? So we've told them in the next meeting, can you look at the orders that you've lost, right, in the last 6 months, and just figure out and just share the basic data of the orders lost in the last 6 months. And they were actually able to dig in and get that information, right? Now that threw up so much of questions, which forced another round of analysis in terms of where are the orders getting lost, which markets is getting lost more, which products are being lost more, to which competition is being lost more, right? And they themselves realized that this whole exercise was becoming an eye-opener for them. And when they started looking at the order losses information, it threw up the fact that there were certain markets in South India where they were extremely low in terms of market penetration and market share. Some of the markets were slightly better, and some of the products were just not being able to compete in the market. Some products were doing okay. So they were able to revisit their complete product strategy, their market coverage strategy, all because these few questions around data were asked. The data was always there. Exactly what Neetu you mentioned. The data was always there, but it was not. Correct. Nobody was questioning it. Nobody was analyzing it. Nobody was taking some conclusions from it and taking some corrective action from it. So as business coaches, we were able to sort of trigger off those discussions and decisions. Fantastic. Which eventually, has started driving the business growth, because now they're talking about getting to 30% conversion ratio. By next year, they're talking about getting to 40% conversion ratio. Now, can you imagine between 20% conversion and 40% conversion? That's like almost doubling the kind of business by doing nothing. It's only inquiries that are coming to you. Leave alone effort that you can put on marketing to get more inquiries. That's a secondary activity. So I think data mining and utilization can be an extremely powerful exercise, like the couple of examples that I shared, right? And the other thing which Neetu was telling you about is about the fact that we spoke about the sales funnel.
Correct.
Often a very neglected area. Maybe you could talk about your experience on that.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, CK. Right. Now, let me also share a similar case study there. So there was this organization who we were looking at the sales, improving the sales efficiency of the organization. And they said, hey, the industry average is at about 32% of conversion through the entire sales cycle, to the funnel stages. And we are at 30%. So we're just about there. Okay. Just do a small 2% improvement. So okay, fine, let's look into that. So what we did was we first looked at what are the different stages of the sales funnel. And then we said, let's look at the conversion rate between each stages rather than looking at the conversion rate across the entire funnel. And then we realized that there were some stages where our conversion rates was minuscule, about 8% between 2 or 3 stages, right? And whereas in some stages, we had a substantial 50+ conversion rate. That's why the overall average was coming up to 30. So now what we had with this information is to look at those stages which had very less conversion rate, with the single digit conversion rates, and started focusing only on that particular stage and saying, hey, how do I improve this? How do I improve this 8% and make that, let's say, 10%, make that 15%, and just start making that improvement actually increase the overall conversion rates from 30 to at least 40, 42%. So that was a huge difference when we were able to break down the conversion rates on the stages. So that's another way in which deep diving into data, breaking them down into smaller units and then analyzing that will actually give you a lot more opportunities to improve on your, let's say, the sales efficiency over here. So I think with that, we've kind of covered mainly the sales function. DK, you want to add something on that?
Yeah, I think the only thing is that, see, the sales people are very unlikely to do this analysis because it will throw up a lot of things that they are not doing.
Got that?
The CEOs are too busy doing other things to focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is where the whole, the link gets missed out, that despite sitting on the database, the leadership team needs to spend more time, on looking at this, because this has got a direct impact on the business growth. So I think our recommendation clearly is that make data analytics for sales important part of your business reviews, which will have a direct bearing on your business plan achievement and your business growth achievement. Right? And going forward, I think there's so many other parts of areas and departments and where the data can have a huge impact. We'll cover that in the subsequent videos. Right? There's a back end, there's a front end, and so many other functions. And we'll talk about data being the new oil. That's what they talk about, the fact that data is the one that's going to fuel the growth of most organizations. Use it wisely. Right? And I think that's what we would like to do.
Great. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And see you again next week.
Thank you.